Thank you, Mr. Davis. Recognize Dr. Winstrup of Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding this hearing today. I think it's very important. I appreciate our witnesses being here today. I want to welcome Mr. Hansen from my home state of Ohio. But I'm glad we're having this important hearing to discuss concerning the impact National Academy of Science report that recommended the Biden administration replace the nation's official poverty measure with supplemental poverty measure. How poverty is measured sets the eligibility for many important federal programs. But I'm finding it hard to understand why we should take federal dollars away from states with rural populations and lower costs of living to bail out states like California, who continue to implement policies that artificially raise the cost of things like housing and energy. So we're rewarding unaffordable, expensive housing rather than working to provide affordable housing, which I think is the answer to a lot of our ills. You know, let's face it, in America today, and when it comes to poverty issues, which I'm very passionate about, we have one party that has policies that are pro-dependence and decreased opportunities for people to come out of poverty, but to hold them there, and another that is pro-independence with increased opportunities. Mr. Hansen, your testimony, I appreciate you touch on the unique challenges that rural Appalachian communities in Ohio have or they're facing when it comes to the impact of switching to SPL. I mentioned earlier that many programs rely on the poverty threshold to determine eligibility, one of them which is TANF. As you mentioned, in Ohio, TANF and WIOA can be braided together and targeted for career development. In other words, opportunities for independence for youth ages 14 through 24. Programs like this are vital to ensuring that federal and state programs are focused on lifting people out of poverty and into the workforce and into an independent lifestyle. You remind me of one of the caseworkers from my district, Julie Wise, who you may know in Highland County, who says that success for her would be for her job not to be needed anymore. That's how she defines success as she tries to help people and lift them out of poverty. Can you just touch on how this switch that they're talking about would impact that program specifically and some of the downstream effects that might occur?
Yeah, thank you, Representative. So this program, the acronym in Ohio is the CCMEP, which braids together TANF and WIOA. It's geared to 14 to 24-year-olds at a particularly vulnerable period in trying to get people into the workforce and to give them the skill ladder that we use is just basic life skills. Can they respond to an alarm? Can they get to a job? Then comes what I call essential skills. Those are kind of the skills that keep you in your job. Do you know how to deal with a boss? Are you able to work in teams? Well, we have to start with 14-year-olds in trying to develop that skill level. Eventually, they do reach the highest level of learning the jobs that are the skills that are required at a specific workplace. We are seeing in Central Ohio, on the borders of Representative Kerry's district and your district as well, pretty strong economic growth. But the demands, those are for mid-skilled and higher jobs. And it is really a challenge to help people understand that in a sense, this country, once upon a time, you stopped at 9th grade. Then we made a lot of progress by going to 12th grade. Now you got to go to 14th grade. Yet we have to really get that journey starting pretty early on. I would love to actually extend it somehow, and this would be a TANF avenue to start talking to 5th and 6th graders about their careers. In Ohio, the K-12 system's been charged with that. They're stepping up their game, but there's still so much more that can be done to take advantage of the opportunity that's out there.
Please watch out for these changes. House Speaker Mike Johnson has just announced the first major legislation that's expected to pass in the House. This bill will lead to big cuts in funding President Biden's energy and climate agenda. Economists are also growing increasingly worried about the United States' $33 trillion in debt. Some lawmakers insist that this large amount of debt could begin to affect vital government assistance programs. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for the latest news in Congress. Also, in a video later today, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, if you'd like to enter these weekly giveaways, simply click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. The first major legislation House Republicans passed under newly installed Speaker Mike Johnson would cut billions of dollars in consumer rebates for energy efficiency upgrades, which were included in President Biden's signature climate law. The $58 billion measure, which funds the Energy Department and other agencies, rescinds more than $5.5 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act, including a $4.5 billion program for homeowners to switch to more energy-efficient appliances, and a $1 billion grant program to help states craft more stringent building energy codes. The bill, which was approved on Thursday on a 210 to 199 vote, also slashes the Energy Department's energy efficiency and renewable energy office funding by 42% below last year's levels and revokes $15 billion in loan authority from the department's loan guarantee program. Mike Johnson last year criticized the Inflation Reduction Act spending on climate and clean energy measures as green energy slush funds. Representative Morgan Griffith, a West Virginian Republican, said, "Cutting the climate spending would save taxpayers huge amounts of money." While the House measure is not expected to pass the Democratic Senate or receive Biden's signature without changes, it represents the Republican starting point as it negotiates spending with Democrats ahead of a mid-November government shutdown deadline. Johnson has pledged the House will vote on the remaining spending bills in the coming weeks. Republican members of the House Appropriations Committee drafted the cuts before Johnson was elected party leader. Mike Johnson of Louisiana is a longtime ally of his state's oil and gas sector and has received about $280,000 in donations from the industry. The League of Conservation Voters, which is an environmental group, has given Johnson a 2% lifetime achievement score, citing dozens of votes against climate legislation and other environmental bills. The environmental group said in a statement, "Johnson has denied that climate change is a result of fossil fuels and polluters." Dear friends, what are your thoughts on this? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. The U.S. economy grew at its fastest pace in nearly 2 years during the past 3 months, once again defying predictions for a slowdown, as many expected the Federal Reserve's monetary tightening to constrain the American consumer. The Bureau of Economic Analysis advanced estimate of third quarter U.S. GDP showed the economy grew at an annualized pace of 4.9% during the period, faster than consensus forecasted. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg estimated the U.S. economy grew at an annualized pace of 4.5% during the period. The reading came in higher than the second quarter GDP, which was revised down to 2.1%. The GDP release highlights the resilience of the U.S. consumer, despite ongoing concerns of a slowdown. But many economists see this as a high-water mark for economic growth before the credit tightening induced by the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes. Top economist Greg Dacko told reporters, factoring tighter credit conditions, the restart of student loan payments, uncertainty regarding the lagged impact of monetary policy, and a fragile global economic backdrop, real GDP growth is likely to drift below trend for several quarters. We foresee real GDP growing a muted 1.4% in 2024, following expected growth of 2.4% in 2023. The key question for investors will be if the Fed has already tightened enough to bring the economy down from its hot third quarter. As Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell recently noted, the central bank will need to see slower economic activity to ensure prices continue to cool. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on the current state of our economy? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, thank you so much, friends, for being part of this community. In a video later today, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway, so please make sure that you do stay tuned. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaways, all you need to do, friends, is click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you, my friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed day.